Hello and good evening, everybody. This is round 17 of Born to Race Turbo Cup from Westhill National, which we will commentate me, Zdeněk Cagaš, and with me here is Miika Sarkinen. Hello, Miika.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back, Zenek. Missed you last time when I was with Zdravko making it up for you, but we had a good one last time, so.
Yeah, that's good, nice to hear. But I believe Zdravko is also a good part of the team. Well, let's have a look at the combo today. We have 32 laps starting in a short while. On the aforementioned Westhill National, the slower and more twistier version of Westhill, which presents a big challenge to the drivers, especially to the FXO drivers, because they will have more problems with their tires. We see the current configurations for this combo, which with XRT, which has a 1% air intake restriction, an FXO turbo with 5% and 25 kilos ballast extra. We have no RB4s qualified today, so it will be just between these two cars. And there are only 3 FXOs on the grid, but 2 of them are very good drivers. Miika, what do you think? Which car will be the winning today?
Well, of course, it's easy to bet for XRD because we got so many of them. But again, we have Botsi on pole position with FXO, and he's beaten the second time with 0.2 of a second. So he might have a good go here if he just can make his tires last until the end.
Yeah, and Botsi has been dominating the last 3 races, which haven't been broadcasted. I mean, the last race we have broadcasted has been won by Unite, who qualified in 13th position today, as you can see. Not very good qualifying by him, but next 3 races have been won in a dominating fashion by Botsi, who is en route for another victory with his position. But we will see what happens in the upcoming 1 hour. We have 35 seconds until the start of the race. So we are looking at the standings right now. We see Vytautas Lagutskas in the first position. He has been missing from many races in the past weeks, as well as Mantas. So Irondoni was able to jump up to second position with twin cam in fourth behind his teammate Mantas, who is not starting today as well, as I mentioned. In team standings, Born to Race is dominating ahead of Sidus, then it's Yes, Race Green, Iron, and so on. As we are heading on to the grid, we see 17 cars should be on the grid, or 18 maybe, as some drivers joined without qualifying, apologies. So the red lights are getting on, and it's a long hold, and we are go with Rick, obviously with a better start, as Botsi with the front wheel drive has a really bad getaway. As expected, drops down to 5th or maybe 6th position. I don't know which one is he right now. Yes, he is 6th. There's some contact in the mid pack, very close back of cars, but no big crash. So here we go. We are watching from Rick's car, Antonio's car, who's leading the race. Second place is Rick. Then it's Packet 42X. And it's Mandula Botsi up to 5th position, or back already ahead of Irondoni. Antonio holding the first place closely from Rick. All the cars streaming downhill to the fast left-hander, which is probably flat out, but you really have to hold it on the edge of the grip as the drivers break into the hairpin, and Antonio has to go a bit defensive, but seems like everybody's settled in nicely. No crashes, as we saw. There's it's all clean, and onto the second straight we go. With Antonio having sufficient gap probably, so Rick won't have the draft.
Yeah, that's quite a first lap here. As you said, no major incidents, but Botsi with a very poor start with the FXO front wheel drive isn't all that good starting off the grid. But he's kept the 5th position pretty good, and he's already hunting down Mandela. And we can see actually Packet 42X going into the pit lane already.
Yeah, first early pitters who want to have their pit stop done and dusted. There's no work required, no time limit as in Ronnie's Tuesday Fun Race XL, so the drivers just stop and go, and off they go already. Meanwhile, we are watching from Rick's car, who's still very close behind Antonio, trying to find some good place to make his move as Antonio goes a bit sideways into this difficult section of downhill left-hander over the crest, and Rick still patiently waiting for a better spot, which might come in the hairpin.
Yeah, that's a very tricky corner to drive through, and it's not a wonder that he didn't want to go for the overtake there. But he might go for it now. He's pushing alongside, but no, he's still waiting. He's very patient about this. He doesn't want to like risk it too bad. Also, you can see behind Bots is just holding behind Mandela at the same fashion. He's being very patient and careful as well.
Yeah, but in the FXO with all the restriction and ballast will have a hard time getting through the field up to the position where he probably wants to be, but at least he won't have a super boring race in the lead. Let's see how he does, how fast he can progress, if he can progress, because the top speed of the car will be lower compared to the XRT, as Antonio's still defending. And Rick will have the slipstream right now, going across the start-finish line to end the lap 2. And Antonio goes side by side with Rick already, goes to the inside, and Antonio has the outside line, which is actually the better one for this turn, and manages to hold this place.
Rick was very gentle. He didn't want to lead the braking too late. He left plenty of room for Antonio to close the gap, and so they remain on the same places as they were before the corner.
Yeah, very good driving by both of the drivers, but very skilled and very respectful driving to each other. Rick still following closely, sniffing some exhaust fumes, probably getting a bit tired of it, so he will want to have go ahead, as he seems like he's the faster driver. As Botsi gets through Mandula, suddenly there must have been some mistake. Botsi up into 3rd place. Mandula was quite ahead on the start of this lap, so I think he had a bit of a wiggle of his rear-wheel drive the car and drops down to 4th place as Sean battles with Sobis and gets ahead.
Yeah, nice driving, but Sobis has the drive there again behind Son. But we're watching Mandla at 4th right now. He's dropped down quite a bit, and Don is already looking back at him, watching for that possible overtake possibility. He's not quite close enough to do it yet, but if he can get into the slipstream, I think he's barely out of the reach. But behind we have a slipstream going. Sobis coming up on Sean, and he's gonna go for the inside line. How will this turn out? Will Sobis leave the braking late enough? Can he make it? Oh yes, he's made it. It's a close one. Sean is trying to hang out on the outside. It's so close. I think Sun's taking it back because it's turning left for now. There's just a slight contact that sends Sobis a little bit sideways, but they're both through, and position is still unchanged.
Yeah, Sean lighting the signals as a way to say sorry, but aggressive as ever, as we know him, but keeping it clean, so he keeps the position for now. We see Antonio making a slight gap to Rick. So Rick, after his attempt, drops a little bit behind, at least for now. Breaks very late into the hairpin, but nicely saved it and made the apex just in time.
Here we have some side action. It's Magic going through Gritch, and that will be E9 for Magic then. That was a nice pass on the tricky right-hander.
Yes, and Maciek overtaking one of the two drivers I'm not very familiar with. It's Grich, who's right behind him in the yellow car, and Packet 42X, who we are watching right now, who overtakes Matt Jester and makes a quick work of it because he started way up the order. He will be looking towards a top 5 finish, maybe.
Packet 42X pitted early after the first lap, and he's just trying to make his way past. But Manchester is not letting him off so easily. He's on the slipstream and he's pulling alongside, but it's the outside line. Can he make it stick? He's trying his best, but Packet is still ahead of this corner and seems to have a good gap, and he can close it to the next corner.
Yeah, as we see, not everybody can make the outside line work here as the top drivers did, but Packet cleanly through. Have you seen these two drivers before?
I've seen Manchester a couple times, but Packet is a new name for me, but he seems to be fast, I gotta admit.
Indeed, it seems to be nice and welcome surprise because not many new faces are joining our races lately. So if he manages to make a big impression in this race, it could be a nice foreshadowing of more of his good results to come as Sean comes under pressure.
Actually, yeah, that's Sean going past Firestarter now.
Oh, yes.
And that's a good slipstream past, and he's so close to Donny on the braking, he almost touched. But they're cleanly through out there. Sean might actually have another slipstream of Donny here on the main straight. He's pretty close.
Yeah, nice.
He's slowly catching up.
Nice teamwork by Aerotac team. Sean, the faster driver, for now getting ahead of one car, and now it's attacking a second car in a row in two corners. But Iron Donny was more ahead in the braking area of turn 1 and holds the place.
Yeah, that's a good defensive drive from Donny. He's a well-known name for a long time, and he's a very experienced driver. So I bet he's knowing like what he's doing. Oh, Sean makes it tight on the inside. He tried to go there, but luckily no contact.
Yeah, I'm giving Sean 2 or 3 turns to get ahead of Iron Donny. Let's see if my prediction holds as he drops a bit far behind. So no deep dive into this corner, as still he gets closer. And now they will enter the long back stretch, heading into the final corner. Iron Donny goes a bit wide, but holds it onto the racing surface and has a big enough gap to stay ahead for now.
Yeah, not very good slipstream for Sean this time. How about last corner? Can he make it stick and get close to Donny? He's looking for the possible slipstream on the main straight again. And he's very close. He's almost alongside already. He should be going for the attack on the first corner again.
We have repeating of the previous lap action Sean again on the outside, but slightly ahead now. And seems like he will make it work because he has faster exit speed on the exit of this turn, and now he makes Firestarter. Oh, there's a contact between Donny and Firestarter. Firestarter took the opportunity as he saw the door open because Iron Donny had to go wide and tried to make his move, but it was too late for now.
Yeah, Sean made a good opening for Firestarter to get in the same place, but Firestarter just a bit too far to use it for his own good. Meanwhile, we got Packet 42X going for more overtakes on the back of the pack. That will be Fear that he's fighting with. Fear on the white car going much more slowly, and there's a contact mid-corner. Packet is being very patient here. He's not send. He's just trying to make his way past here.
Yeah, flashing his lights as he's not happy with how he's being held up, but that's what you have to deal with when you pit early and the field is still close together. You have to find your way through all the slower cars back up, and he goes up into 14th position. There's a slight gap ahead of him right now, so he will have some space to make faster lap times. Meanwhile, Antonio still leads ahead of Rick, but Botsi is slowly catching up. And I was just checking the top 3 drivers' tire temperature, and looks like Botsi is the one with best tires right now. He's not overheating. The tires are they seem to be very green compared to the top 2 drivers who are struggling with the rear tire temperature. So he seems to have an advantage for now, and the drivers in front should think about what they want to do next, if they want to fight or if they want to focus on Botsi. So Botsi the big threat right now.
Yeah, and you can also see the tires playing a part on the lap times here, as the last lap. The leading 2 throw quite equal lap for each other, but Botsi was half a second faster last lap than any of these guys. So we will have a 3-way fight here very soon.
Yeah, and as he is as he can brake very much later than the cars ahead, he is very close in the braking zone, and I think he already has slipstream of Rick. It seems like he does.
Close.
Rick is complaining about his tire temperature in the chat as Botsi goes down the inside, brakes late, and makes an easy job of it. 2nd place, and over he goes.
That's a good pass. That's how you brake inside a little late and take the place. That's as clean as it gets.
Oh, and we have Antonio, the leader in the pit lane. He seems to have had enough, and he wants to cool his tires a bit by driving slow in the pit lane as Rick tries to make a move on Botsi, but and he goes wide. He slides on the grass, and that will not help his tire case at all.
Meanwhile, Antonio, after the pit, he rejoined on 10th place, but Yasin just made past him, so now he's 11th, and he's already into the battle right after the pits, which is not the optimal way you want to exit the pits. But seems like Antonio will pull alongside and go past, and there could be a gap for him in front of him, where he can drive and focus on his own race.
Yeah, nice and easy switcheroo into first sector, and Antonio saves some time, which would be otherwise lost behind Yasin. Now he has 4-second gap to his teammate Ayub, so if he catches him before Ayub pits, it should be easy position swap between the teammates of Born to Race. as we see Fear battling with Mad Jester. Behind them is 136, who I believe has also already pitted. Not sure now, but I think he did.
He probably has.
Oh yeah, as we see on the graphics right now, we have all the pit stops on the screen. And indeed, 136, Unite, and Alpha have already pitted. So Fear will now, Fear and Magister will now be probably victims of 136 as they battle together for 15th and 16th place. Fear on the inside, both going wide, and there's contact which allows 136 almost to go through both of them, but he had too much speed and couldn't make it turn tight enough to squeeze through, so he has to slow down and wait for next few turns.
That was a bit unlucky for 136 because he had to break middle of the corner and it compromised his exit, so now he's a little further away again. But Fear and Manchester are still going at each other, which allows 136 to creep out closer to them all the time. For now it seems like Manchester will make it on top of this fight, and they touch again! Oh, this is a bit messy fight, and now 136 joins them, and he's trying to go just past both of them in the same corner, basically. Oh, but Fear goes wide, and that opens up the gap for 136 to slip through, and Manchester will be looking at Fear again, trying to go for the outside, but he doesn't quite have the overspeed for him. And now he's inside, but almost they touch again, but Fear is gladly a little bit ahead.
With all due respect to these two battling drivers, you can see the difference in experience between these drivers, but still both of us are racing cleanly, so that's a very good sign of things to come as Fear holds the 15th position. He's holding it tightly. He doesn't want to let it go as Magister keeps attacking and attacking, but so far successfully. Sorry.
Yeah, this fight of Fear and Manchester, it goes a little elbows out. There's contact here and there, but they seem to like at least respect each other and have it kind of clean for each other, even though it's harsh racing, but even harsh can be clean.
Yeah, and we also have two more drivers in the pit lane. It's Iron Donny and Grich, who have pitted and dropped down the order. Exited the pit lane ahead of Bucket 42, and now we have a nice trio of drivers battling for what's now 11th to 13th position, as we see Fear and Manchester again going door to door and leaving no room, but still providing us with great entertainment.
That just can't get away from each other. They're going side to side, lap after lap, and it's like they switched places. I can't even count how many times. But now Manchester is significantly ahead, and maybe he can pull away if he doesn't make any mistakes here.
Yeah, the smiley faces in the chat confirming they both are enjoying this battle, so that's good. They are having fun, we are having fun, everybody's happy.
It's the most important one. Meanwhile, Unite actually joins this battle. He's looking at behind Fear and taking the slipstream to the straight, and he should be passed before the last corner.
Yeah, Unite passing Fear, who drops down the order immediately as soon as Manchester goes past. Unite not having the best race, even though he pitted, he's too far behind everybody who he usually competes with. Not really having a good day today.
Not one of his best. But Unite makes it to the P16 for now. Tries to break the slipstream by wiggling a bit on the straight. but fear doesn't give it up so easily. Rig just a little late and he went wide.
Oh,
That
that's
confirms
too wide.
United keeping the 16th place and going after Manchester next.
Nice couple of laps by Fear, Manchester, and Unite as well, as we switch to top 3, where Mandula is behind Rig, who's struggling with the tires because he was much farther ahead of Mandula, but he seems to have a real big problem to keep his tires. His right rear tires is all red, so Mandula sensing an opportunity here and catching Rick, hoping to successfully fight him very soon.
Yeah, and he very well might. That's not easy to keep up the pace Rick is doing with the tires he is having right now. As you can see, Botsi has got very well away, 4.5 seconds ahead of Rick already. And Mandla is also catching up, so it's not a very pleasant position to be Rick right now.
So Botsi now with fastest lap of 1:52.05. I don't know if there who made faster lap. I think it's Antonio according to our graphics. Yeah, Antonio has been 200ths of a second faster on his fastest lap. Second place, Rick going into the left-hander overcrest sliding, making his overheated tire even hotter, which helps Mandula. He's already side by side trying to have a look because Rick has so bad exit coming out of the left-hander, and then now into the downhill left-hander. Mandula has better line, much tighter, and he's, as we see from the Sean's hood, Mandula patiently looking for an opportunity, but he will have to be a bit faster because Sean will not so patient as he might be.
Yes, Mandla wants to get past Rick as soon as possible so he doesn't lose any more time behind him, and also Sean is giving some pressure, so it'll end up just Mandla having to defend from Sean if he doesn't get past Rick very soon.
Yeah, Mandula in the slipstream, but is it close enough? He looks down the inside, but just a slight look, he thinks better of it and throws it inside as Rick goes wide again. And they are side by side, but I think Mandula will have slower exit, or will he? He's already fully ahead, and Rick goes into the pit lane as well as Sean. I think
Sean
so.
actually didn't go. He just
Sean continues. Sorry.
He took the slipstream and he just back into the racing track, not going to the pit lane.
Rick has drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so that's too bad. That's really unfortunate, and I believe that his race for the top position is done. But at least he will have some more action in the later stages, as we are on lap 14 of 32, so still plenty of action ahead of us.
And some action going on already. Sean's still kept very close behind Mandula and seems to have a bit more pace. Oh, Rick has just spectated. He's decided that drive-through penalty was just too much, and he decided not to continue.
Yeah, probably the setup wasn't even also up to his standards to last the whole race, as we see. From Sean's point of view, in current third position, braking much later than Mandula, who has to go defensive. He expected Sean to make a move and cleverly covers the inside, but Sean, he will not be satisfied. He will go for it. Mandula knows it, and maybe under a bit of pressure goes wide, has to go defensive already. But Sean with the slipstream, he will have a look down the inside if Mandula doesn't have anything against it. But Sean, Sean, he will not.
Yeah, he will be patient. He will stay
go wide
early on the brakes and he'll take the inside line. Oh, that turned out a bit different than Sean might have thought about, because if Mandela braked later and had a good exit, he would have had like a slipstream 40. main straight here, but now they're side to side, so no slipstream for each of the cars.
Yeah,
That
Sean.
will be Mandela taking the inside line. He's a bit ahead. Sean breaks later. Can he go outside? No, he can't. Mandela still keeps the position ahead, and Sean has to build another place to overtake.
Looking at both drivers' tire status, they seem to be on the same level with tire temperatures, so this should be an even fight in terms of tires. Let's see who's faster, as Sean dives down the inside, as he already did a few times this race, but Mandula doesn't let him through because next turn is in his favor. So it was really a very brave and very optimistic move for now.
He just wants to keep the pressure on Mandula and maybe force him to make some mistakes. Like constantly reminding that I'm here, I want to go past you, so don't you forget about that.
Yeah, that's true. And they already have Firestarter watching from afar as they keep battling for the second place. I think it could be a second place overall as well. I mean, are there some drivers who pitted and should be ahead of him? Oh,
space, but Sean going a little bit on the grass to make the inside line work for him. And Mandela's actually made it switch around and Mandela's back ahead. But now Sean will have the slipstream and Firestarter almost joining them at this fight. Now Sean will pull alongside. Yeah, Sean having inside line to the first corner now, and he's a bit ahead. He's braking late, and Mandela's just trying to follow and trying to go switch around again, but he's not having the speed to make it this time. And will be ahead and on the inside line to the next corner.
Yeah, Sean had to go to tighter line, but still he's fast enough to keep his position into the next section of slow turns. So seems like he made the move stick for now. He's very sideways.
He's sliding. Ooh, it's getting interesting here. Firestarter has caught up all the way to these guys. And Mandela's just looking for a revenge if Sean keeps going on with those big slides as we saw on the corner before.
Yeah, now we have battling 3 or 4 second to fourth place. This is getting more intense by every turn. Mandula still thinks he can compete with Sean, but now he's in a air attack sandwich. He will have a difficult time keeping these two drivers or sticking with these two drivers as Sean pulls away a bit. But I was thinking he might help Firestarter get through by holding up Mandula, but it's not happening for now. And a Firestarter has advantage of slipstream anyway, goes down the inside and goes through. Now maybe he will have some help from Sean with draft, but Sean decided, or team tactics are not working that way for now. Mandula goes back side by side with Firestarter. He will have the inside line, which might not be favorable, but he seems to have a bigger overlap. And yeah, they are very, very close together, almost door to door, side by side, with Firestarter with the better line for the next turn. And seems like he will hold the position. Mandula still has to go a bit wide, tries to make a switchback, but he has no overlap, and the air attack duo is past this race green car.
That's pretty good defensive drive from Mandula against both of the AA cars, but both of them, Sun and Firestarter, they made it through. And that's just a good battle from all 3 cars of those. And Firestarter actually seems like he's caught up the Shan as well. So I wonder if we'll see a team battle or if they will just hold positions if Shan is ultimately the faster car of these two.
Yeah, we will see, because Firestarter was the one who let Sean through in the beginning of the race. Now Sean might owe him a favor if Firestarter turns up to be the faster driver in the end. So let's see how this team operates. But as we see, it's quite a lonely race for Botse, who's more than 12 seconds ahead of all this battling. Every turn that these drivers have been battling has been good in his favor, as air attack goes simultaneously to the pit lane. No speeding penalty for now, so they made it work. They will pit together, they will exit together, but they are standing still for what happened? What's happening?
They've had some fuel or damages or tires or something going on.
Firestarter with damage, Sean with refueling.
Oh no, it went all south.
Double error by the team. That really didn't work in their favor.
Firestarter even did some speeding and took a drive-through penalty.
Oh no, and there's some
Sean had
trouble
a
in the
10-second. Ooh, that's 136 going very deep there.
136 attacking or in a battle with Sean, who exited the pit lane, and it didn't go as well as planned. Nothing went right for air attack as they dropped down the order, and Firestarter will have to sort his drive-through penalty. Very, very bad lap 17 and 18 for air attack.
Yeah, that was for Sean, that was 10.7 seconds pit stop for refueling. That's a mistake. You don't want to refuel in this race, because it's just you only need to stop and go.
So
we have Magic and 136 battling, and Unite actually joining them just on that braking. There's some battle going on. There's no Firestarter again with Sean. They're still close to each other even after that pit stop madness. And for now, Firestarter is ahead, which wasn't the case before. Sean was ahead before. Firestarter still has. We got 136 setting it just past Magic, but Magic will be able to get back advantage on here on the straight. But 136 will have the slipstream again. But actually, this seems to be going a little faster on the straight, so might be not favorable to be behind and even have the slipstream on the FXO.
Yeah, 136 looking for an unorthodox way around, because outside is not the way to go here, but Magic probably knows that there will be, he has a little wiggle on the exit of the turn, but still 136 doesn't really go for it, but Magic lets the door open, and Born to Race driver doesn't still go through. I mean, what is he waiting for? For more invitation? This is invitational enough, I think.
Yeah, Magic seems to be struggling on the corners quite a bit, and 136 not quite able to capitalize on it. But now he's through, and Unit's already just behind him, and Unit might want to punish Magic as well for these low corners that he's having. And he's trying to switch it back and go for the inside. Can he have the speed on the exit? No, he can't. He'll just lay behind and see if he can get slipstream on the straight for Magic. Which he does. He's very close now.
Yeah, Unite going for the move he is supposed to do. I think this is what he needs to do to climb as high as possible. His lap times are actually not that bad. He's doing quite okay, but his tires are also fine. So there might be some trouble with consistency, or I don't know. It's, as I said earlier, it's not his day. Still, can can't find way past Maciek. So now they will almost be 3 wide because 136 he cuts across the start-finish straight. He has
There was
probably
that
top
inside
speed.
It will be 3 wide, and 136 makes contact to Unite, but the XRD is just so much faster in the straight that these both guys get past 136 on the straight, and now it's 136 on the back foot again behind Unite, who is behind Magic right now. Magic has a little bit gap formed between him and Unite's house, so he's not under a constant threat right now. But 136 is still hungry for getting that place back from Unite, and Magic goes into a very deep slide, which compromises his corner.
It's almost a
here.
spin.
What are these guys doing?
Maciek already overheated his tires. This should be over for him, but he still manages to keep them behind as they battle together. And there's contact between Unite and 136. What is happening? I have no idea now. Both XRT sliding 3 wide into the corner. What are they? What is happening? What is this?
They are 3 wide in like the tightest corner of the whole track, which is quite unusual. So
Maciek still ahead. Now 136 tries to get a slipstream, but he drops behind, and Unite goes past Maciek for now. But what is going to happen in the next turn? I honestly don't know. This has been too wild for me.
It is wild indeed. 136 wants to have a good last corner here, and he hopes to stick it just in the slipstream of either of these XRDs because he is not having the straight line speed as the XRD is just in front of him. You can see Magic is just pulling away from Magic. From 136 here.
Yeah, and we see 2 more drivers behind already joining the battle. Madjester and Grich. Madjester, who has been in our focus earlier in the race, he smells an opportunity as these drivers just cannot give up battling. And Grich, who has been quite fast but dropped down the order for now. And 136 just can't get through Maciek, even though Maciek leaves him the door open. Space. He leaves him the space in some turns as he's wide on his overheated tires. There's some slight contact and bumping from 136 as he brakes later than Maciek, but maybe a bit too cautious from 136's side.
Yeah, 136 still has some trouble capitalizing those chances on the corners where he is faster, and then he's again losing on the straights, and he's just not making it past Magic. Magic is defending so hard, and Manchester is already looking down at him, and he should be able to catch them up. He's had a bad exit, very wide right-hander here. So now it seems like Magic is pulling away from 136 on the straight, but 136 hasn't had enough. But Unite spun out. He's confused in the chat. Seems like
some technical error with graphics, so he spun because of technical problems, and he spectates. There's a driver claiming that he disappeared, so probably unfortunate for him, but really not his day, and it is just completed by this technical failure.
Well, when it's not your day, then it's just not your day. Sometimes it will be like that. We have Grich here on the 12th place. He's trying to follow and catch up to 136 and Magic just ahead of him, who are still battling with each other. 136 still on the back foot, and Magic keeping ahead. They're closing to the slow corners again, where 136 has been usually faster, but haven't been able to take the overtake.
Oh, I see. 136 has also overheated his right front tire, so it might be also cause of his problems because on a track that's predominantly left-handed turns, right front tire will suffer, and he has to be cautious as to make his tires survive. As we see Botsi in the first place, comfortably ahead of Mandula. Mandula way back, and also with a big gap to third place Sobis.
And for the third place, there's actually a little bit of battle going on. Ayub is just sending it outside Sobis and looks like he can make it stick. The next corner will be left-hander where Ayub will have a inside line, but Sobis, he's sending it very deep and going all the way around the outside. They're still side to side, but they have this crest left-hander coming up, which is going to be tighten up and have very tight left-hander on the down of the hill. And Sobis still looking from the outside, but can't really make the move go around as he wanted. He will keep his line and will keep the third position.
Yeah, Ayub going for third place, which will see how it turns out at the end of the race after everybody pits. We still have Botsi and Mandula, I think. They are still set to pit. Yeah, and also Ayub and Sobis, as everyone behind has pitted. Yeah, and Grich and Magister have to pit as well, but Antonio in fifth place, a bit farther back, but he might be looking for top 3 finish for sure. We will see if it will be what position it will be after drivers ahead of him pit for the mandatory pit stop. Meanwhile, behind 136 has already gotten past Maciek for the second time in 2 laps, but Maciek still has a faster car on the straights and attacks him back and forth, still switching positions as we speak.
For now, it seems like Maciek has made it past 136 again, coming to the finish straight. And 136, of course, losing out on the straight, but let's see what he can do on the corners after again.
Yeah, and now he also has Grich to deal with, because Grich is in the faster XRT and will have his own opinion about all this. As we are going down the order, watching second place Mandula throwing the car into the hairpin. Ayub not far back in third place, followed by Sobis in fourth place, who Ayub just has overtaken.
If we're looking at the gaps there, Botsi leading the pack, there's 21 seconds gap almost to Mandula on second place, and Antonio on the fifth place is the first driver who has pitted already, so there will be 33 seconds gap between him and Botsi. So it's kind of interesting to see how that gap closes down, or if Antonio can actually make it ahead of Botsi on the pit stop.
Indeed, sixth place Iron Donny ahead of Packet 42X, who's already back into 7th place, and followed by Sean, who unfortunately had a very bad pit stop, as well as his teammate Firestarter behind him, who on top of his bad pit stop still has to serve drive-through penalty. He's still waiting, as we see 136 being swallowed by another faster XRT of Grich, who still has to pit, but yeah, his lap times are 1 second slower per lap, but 136 just can't hold him behind.
Let's see if 136 can fight Grich on the corners where he had trouble getting past Magic.
Oh, he goes on the grass and almost loses the
Yeah,
ring.
that's not doing good for his tires. He's sliding a bit.
I was just about to say that his front tire is getting cooler, but now it's not.
Not how you keep them cool. Ugrich taking a very tight line here through this corner, 106, having to be very careful with his gas and brake pedal just behind him. Careful not to touch, not to bump Grich. You can see 136 could have just more speed in the corners, but Grich is just keeping it ahead.
Yeah, we see Botsi in the dominating FXO car entering or starting the lap 26 of 32, so we are nearing the end of the race, and Botsi comfortably ahead over 20 seconds of a gap to second place Mandula. I think we can safely say, unless he crashes, times out, or does anything unexpected, he should be the race winner, but let's wait for that. Another 6-7 laps or less than 7 laps.
If I recall correctly, he still has the pit stop to make, but he's also pushed up the gap to Antonio on P5 to 34 seconds, so pit stop shouldn't be a problem for Botsi at this moment anymore.
Indeed, Antonio is doing respectable lap times, but Botsi is just faster today. I think even if he pits, he will have a big gap to Antonio, who should be in second place after everybody pits. So yeah. Maybe we can try on board with Botsi for one lap to see how a driver of his skill operates in this car.
Here he comes just around the last corner, starting the lap 27 this race.
Yeah, as we go on board from this driver camera inside the cockpit, braking before the 50 meter board, slightly clipping the inside curb, goes all the way out to the AstroTurf or artificial tarmac, nicely hitting the apex, which is marked by the black and white bollard. They're using all the available track. No wonder he's doing times below 152 all the time. This turn he takes a little bit tighter line, not going all the way to the curbing, because the inside curbs tend to unsettle the car, so he stays on the tarmac only. Now he uses the curb and a bit more on, maybe even on the grass, goes just outside to the curb and brakes very late, but just enough to hit the apex of this hairpin. Tight exit, wide entrance to this double apex turn. A little bump from the curb, which tends to unsettle the car if you drive over it improperly. Now onto the long back straight, which turns a bit to the right, so he goes to the left now and then slowly goes back to the right. Brakes just before the 100 meter board, hits the apex nicely and goes on the throttle, finishes another lap, and it's a lap 27. And Botsi, as we see from his onboard, just goes to the pit lane, so we will see how far ahead of ahead of Antonio he will come out as he makes the pit nicely fast, 1.36 seconds, exits the pit lane, and he is still in first position. Even Mandula is nowhere to be seen. He just crosses the start-finish line.
Yeah, Antonio's just leaving the last corner, so there's the whole start-finish line between him and Botsi, so that's a very, very good driving from Botsi to pull up that kind of a gap between them.
Yeah, dominating performance. Very well done today. Still 5 laps to go, and but yeah, Mandula hasn't pitted, and still he's like 5 seconds behind Botsi. Let's see on the first split after he crosses it. Yeah, it's 3.4 seconds behind Botsi, so yeah. Getting to the first split right now, and he is 17 seconds behind Botsi. So Botsi used his advantage of clean track and set 27 top fast lap times. Meanwhile, Antonio decided to pit early, had to go through a bit of a traffic, which didn't help his case, and he will have to settle for second place today. If all goes well, of course.
And that's pretty wise driving from Botsi. He just started driving his own race from the very beginning. He let the other guys just battle out their tires, and they had to pit early to just try and cool down the tire temps, which allowed Botsi to get a good clean air to race with and pull the gap. Meanwhile, we see Yasin going side to side with Manchester here. Manchester on the black and red car on the inside line. Yasin seems to be... Oh, Manchester goes wide, and that allows Yasin to go way past him just before the straight.
Yeah, Yasin using his speed advantage because he's much faster than Manchester in this race. Or, sorry, not that much, but still. He will see himself ahead of Manchester, the place where he wants to be.
That will be P13 for Yasin for now. Not sure if Firestarter is just a bit too far. He still has the drive-through penalty, which will drop him down a couple places, but maybe not just quite behind Yasin.
Yeah, as we are watching this third place Ayub, him, Mandula, and Sobis still have to pit, as well as Grich and Manchester. So we are awaiting them in the pit lane anytime soon, as we are as the leader just has only 3 laps remaining after he crosses the start-finish line right now. Another lap below 1 minute 52 seconds for Botsi, comfortably increasing his lead. I don't think I have ever seen his tire go brown or not even red. He has really good setup. As we see, Sobis finally pitting, so he drops behind Antonio. Let's see if he manages to hold his place ahead of Iron Donny already passed. Packet 42X is already past Sobis.
Has gone too. But Firestarter actually started his drive-through right now, so you can see it on the pit lane. Oh, he's got another drive-through.
Oh,
he's speeded again. That's something you do not want to happen.
Air Attack pit crew will not be happy today with the performance of them and their drivers as Firestarters. Oh, there's Maciek going sideways at the exit of the turn 1, but holds it together. Back to Botsi, who calmly crosses all the dangerous curbs with no negative repercussions. Mandula on the back straight with less than 3 laps to go, followed not closely, but watched from the distance by Ayub.
those two, Mandla and Ayub, leaving their pits very, very late in the race. Mandla just... Yeah, they might be just on the last possible lap.
Yeah, and it will be this lap, because after that you have to cross the pit, the finish line, and I believe you cannot pit on the final lap. Even though the pits are before the finish line, I don't think you are allowed to. As Botsi improves his best lap time of the race to 1:51.06, 1 second faster than second place Mandula. Also almost 1 second faster than Ayub, 1 second faster than Antonio. So yeah, he's going for it.
Yeah,
this guy has no
just
chill.
on his own level right now.
Firestarter finally completes his drive-through on the second attempt, as Gridge and Magister go for their mandatory pit stop and exit the pit lane in this order. Really unthreatened, as the last placed Alpha is just entering the start-finish straight. Botsi is not far behind Alpha, and we switch back to Mandula, who should be pitting right now after he exits this turn. Twincam asking in the chat, Botsi, do I need to add special restrictions for you? Because yeah, as we mentioned, it's a dominating performance, as Mandula enters the pit lane for his mandatory pit stop, should be followed by Ayub, as Ayub enters the pit lane as well. And now we will see where they exit. This will be battle for position, sprint for the last lap. Mandula
will be
into the
Antonio flying by
them
right now. Zdravko stopped and Mandla is off his way, and it seems like he's got the third place right now, whereas Ayub will drop down behind Iron Donny, who will take the fourth. And well, also behind Packet 42X.
Yeah, Packet 42X also, he really made it up into 5th position. Ayub not far behind, but I don't believe he will have opportunity to make a move for the 5th place, as Packet has a big gap for a 1 lap attack. Everybody has now stopped, which means everybody has fulfilled their duty according to the rules. So Botsi now entering the back straight, too far ahead of everyone. So yeah, it's the final lap.
He's closing to the last corner, just making it as good as he's done all the race. Nice tight line and onto the gas and onto the power towards the finish line, and that will be the checkered flag and nice, very overpowered win for Botsi.
I mean, he could cross the start-finish line with some style, but he decides to be cool about it because he still has 21 seconds gap. Anyway, Antonio is showing us how it's done, a little bit sideways here and there, and goes to the finish line in all directions, closely followed by Mandula. 4th place belongs to Iron Donny, then it's Packet 42X with nice performance, just ahead of Ayub. In 6th place, then it's Sideways Sean from Air Attack. Sobis in 8th place. We are waiting for more cars to show up, and Maciek, the block of 136, the wall, 136 couldn't surmount today. And 136 crosses the line in 10th place, just ahead of the air attack duo of Firestarter and Yasin. And yeah, that was... now we have Grich going for the finish, as Alpha from the last position spectated in the final lap, which is kind of weird, but perhaps he ran out of fuel, as Manchester is the final car to cross the start-finish line. And we have 14 finishers all on the same lap. Alpha would be on the same lap as well, but unfortunately he will be classified as one lap down. And we have 4 DNFs of Unite, Fear, Rick, who had a pit line incident with drive-through, Twin Cam, and T-Buck, who spectated early on. So let's run through the order again. It's Botsi, 24 seconds ahead of Antonio. Then it's Mandula rounding up the podium. Iron Donny, Packet, Ayub, Sean, Sobis, Maciek, and 136 rounding up the top 10. Firestarter and Yasin from Air Attack, Grich, Mad Jester, and still classified will be Alpha QV. So, Miika, how do you rate this race? Did we have fun?
Of course, we did have a lot of fun. So many great battles going on for so many laps. Not on the front so much, Botsi taking his own domination, but on the midfield, there was certainly some stuff going on with 136 and Magic, and of course Firestarter and Shine giving their best shot, and that was one of the nice races as we used to seeing here already on this Turbo Cup hosted by Bond Race.
Yeah, it was a really good race, really fun to watch, with some close action between almost everybody. Maybe apart from Botsi, who just ran away. But in the beginning, he also had to fight for some positions. So yeah, we are looking at the calendar. This has been round 17. And the next one we will see again on the first Wednesday of the month, September, Wednesday 6th. It will be around 22, with combo still to be concluded. It will be released just ahead of the round itself. Time remains the same, as it will be still summertime. And yeah, we are looking forward to see you next month. I hope you had fun. I have been Zdeněk Cagaš, and with me has been Miika Sarkinen. And it's been a pleasure to commentate this race for you.
It was good having you back, Zdeněk, and we'll see hopefully in the start of the next month. Thanks for today's podcast, everyone, and have a good night.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and good night.